So good morning, guys. It is 3:20 a.m. and today I am heading for sunrise on the north coast. This morning we are headed up to Murdoch Bay, just around from Ballycastle on the Causeway Coast. I guess the plan for me this morning anyway, or what I'd like to hopefully get from this morning's shoot would be a shot of Fairhead, which is one of the big headlands just beside Ballycastle. I'd love to get it lit by this kind of like the first light and the early morning light, so that's what I'm kind of hoping for. The forecast is, I guess, looking a little bit mixed. What we need this morning is going to be some clear sky along the horizon, just so that as soon as the sun comes up, it's going to be able to be lighting up the headlands and lighting up Murdoch Bay. I'm not sure if any of you follow another vlogger called Garth Danks, but his story is kind of similar to mine in that his latest vlog he put up was why he switched from Fuji to Sony. You've probably seen that I made the switch from Canon to Fuji probably maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, and up until recently I've been absolutely loving it. Really love the Fuji, but I guess a little bit like Garth's story, and it was kind of funny when I was watching his vlog last night. It's almost identical to my own story, and that basically is why I've switched, and that was really just to do with the lockups and to do with reliability. So yeah, I've moved away from Fuji and I've gone for the Sony system. I've gone for the new A7 III and A7 R3, and in many ways it's quite sad because I absolutely love the Fuji system. Love the image quality, love the Fuji colours are just absolutely amazing. The only issue was at weddings, because I'm a wedding photographer and I shoot quite a lot of them during the year, and that's a massive bit of my business. I just was getting lockups and I was having issues with the reliability of the camera. Now, not all the time. I know some guys who've been having a lot of lockups and been having a lot of issues. I know Garth had mentioned in his video that I think he had maybe 2 or 3 X-H1s and had loads of issues with that. My issues were with the X-T2. As I say, it wasn't all the time it was happening, but I guess whenever you're going into like a high pressure situation like a wedding where you don't really get do-overs, so you have to be 100% certain and 100% sure of your gear. Unfortunately, the last few weddings that I'd been shooting, I was just being really unsure of just how well the camera was going to perform. So I don't really want this vlog to be a whole thing about negativity towards the Fuji. Would I recommend it? Yep, like Garth said, I still would. I still love the Fuji system, but it just wasn't practical for me to run both systems, so I had to make quite a hard decision in many ways to switch over. On a side note, in regards to astrophotography and landscape photography, the Fuji was 100%. It never ever let me down, never missed a beat. The only issue was with the weddings, where I guess you were just working it a little bit harder. So I guess that's just a little bit of my story this morning. So we decided against going to the shoreline, purely just because the water is quite calm, and I don't really know how interesting it's going to be just by shooting a lot of rocks with water that's not really doing very much around it. So we've come up to the height overlooking, so you can see right round. So the sun is coming up somewhere around here. Okay, so we need to try and get a composition that's not shooting across the bay, but it's actually shooting more out the way to try and get hopefully the colours in the sky in it. But we actually walked around the other bit and we found quite a nice sheltered spot which has Fairhead in it. So Fairhead's behind me on the other side of those trees. So that's the shot I kind of came for. I want to try and get Fairhead lit by some of the morning light. So I still think this top location is actually going to probably work quite well, because we've got a couple of compositions that we can shoot with hopefully the colourful sky if it does decide to do anything, and then we can just walk round. It's only about 30 seconds or a minute round the other side, and then hopefully get some light hitting Fairhead. So there's a little bit of a gap, if you can see there just behind me, there's a little bit of a gap on the horizon. So I'm still pretty hopeful that this is gonna work out quite well. So managed to find a composition with the tree in it that I said I wasn't going to photograph this morning. We've just had some really nice light, a nice colour just behind us here. So it's so windy up here, it's ridiculous. But yeah, so we've the composition's quite a simple one. I've got the tree down in the bottom right hand corner. I normally shoot this bay across here. I normally like to have that in the frame, but I've only got a little bit of it. Anytime I've been here before, I've actually had the tree in the bottom left and then shot back this way, but today I'm actually having the tree in the bottom right and shooting more out towards the horizon line, which has got all the colour in the sky. My exposure time is, at the moment, it's around about 4 seconds at f11. Shooting ISO 50. Filter wise, I've got a 3-stop solid ND on, and also a reverse grad. I don't have anything really that's breaking the horizon line, so the reverse grad's working really well. And the colour's actually starting to come back a little bit. At the moment I'm zoomed in to about 20mm, but I may actually just move out a little bit wider. Normally one of the things when I'd be kind of thinking about composition is I normally would try and have the horizon line either on the bottom third or the top third, and today I have it bang in the middle. So we will see. I think at the moment the shot works quite well, but we'll see. It kind of gives me a little bit of room that if I need to crop later, I can crop maybe into like a more pano kind of format, but so far so good. We've moved around to the other side now, but really struggling to get a composition here. The light is hopefully just about to break out, so we're shooting back that way, so that's Fairhead way in the distance. Plan was to try and get a shot of it with the light, so it was coming in from the side and obviously hitting it with some really nice soft warm side light, but I don't know whether we've made the right decision of not going to the shore and by staying up here. Time will tell. The light is starting to hit some of the top peaks. That's it starting to come now. Here we go. Wow, that's it now. Here we go. One of the problems that I had, or one of the things I was having about the composition, was that the foreground just looks so bland and so plain because there was an awful lot of green. But now with the light, the difference that the light makes is just incredible. Look at that now. Beautiful.